was absolutely disgusting. He ended up diving into the top lane, solo killing the AD carry.
All honesty, I would have given it to Weiwei. I think his early game pressure, capitalizing on the laning mistakes from LGD was perfect, and it was the main reason why Suning was in such a strong position. Now for LGD, what I wanted to see them do is actually try to beat up on BuBu a little bit more. To be absolutely honest, I think BuBu's function on Suning has been somewhat similar to a punching bag. They used him as bait that game multiple times. Just like, hey, you guys want BuBu? Hey, look, he's no Zanyas. How about you go BuBu? And, well, it's quite successful. It feels kind of bad saying it, but it's true.
It's the TSM strat from Season 4 when they're just like, Dyrus, you can just be 0-16 in the top lane. Just let us do the rest around the map. But BuBu admirably absorbed the pressure pretty well, didn't get abused by it. Interesting to note, LGD has taken away the Silas from Maple. He's gotten that most of the games that we have seen him in here in the LPL.
Yeah, so far he's played nothing else. So this is going to be a new one for, excuse me, the new one for Maple coming up. There's not a lot of great Silas matchups, but what we've been seeing is a surge of Renekton mids to counter it out. The dominance being stolen by Silas doesn't really affect the Renekton matchup whatsoever.
Is an opportunity. I don't know if I'd liken it to a Maple champion. Maybe that Karma going in for him instead. But there is still the flexibility between mid and support for both the Nautilus and the Karma. So at the very least, Suning have gotten one flex pick on the board. But LGD, this is a composition we talk about a lot, the Cannonball. They've picked it up in the Jarvan and the Galio.
Yeah, so LGD are going for strong initiation. They really want an open map so they can use these semi-globals and long initiation abilities to make maximum use out of it. I do expect the Kai'Sa coming up. This is typically what you go with. Oh no, they actually banned themselves. Interesting enough. Huh. Yeah, Kai'Sa does very well with his comp because she can use Killer Instinct to follow up instantly. So a fight can be happening in enemy jungle and she could be clearing mid lane, but she'll instantly go in, and that's one of the main champions that you see RNG actually putting together with the Cannonball composition.
Well, looks like they'll be giving that one away. What would you expect to see in replacement for this Kai'Sa now that also the Sivir has been banned out?
So a lot of AD carries off the books right now. The other AD carries we've been seeing have been the safer ones, like Ezreal. You can do that as well.
Yumi's still available as well, by the way.
True, but neither Olaf or Sivir are here. Not sure Yumi's going to be the greatest of picks here. And for Suning, they're just going to go for a super late game scaling composition. I'm not sure going Kog'Maw is good against Cannonball.
They're a little bit safer with that one.
I was like, yeah, maybe not against that.
Let's just go a literally escapeless AD carry. No, instead they're going to opt for the Xayah. It gives you a little bit more safety with the ultimate. And now I want to see the response from LGD. It's surprising to see that Ryze made it this far down into the draft.
I like the idea of Ryze. You're going to get a free lane most of the time against BuBu, so strong mid-jungle combination. And wow, no wonder there's no AD carries being selected.
I want to see it locked, Clement. LGD have hovered the Yasuo. We've not seen this split, I believe, and I'm not sure I want to see it, but my heart is telling me that I really, really want to see this Yasuo.
Yasuo actually does quite well against Xayah. He can stop the feathers, but never mind. It's going to be the Vayne instead, and I'm pumped. I like the Vayne.
I like the Vayne too, but I like how if you were listening closely to the audience audio, you could literally hear them going, "Oh, I felt that, audience. I am feeling the people of Hangzhou right now." A little bit disappointing, but it is Kramer's Vayne that we get treated with today, and the Renekton has been picked up there for Suning.
Yeah, I want to see Kramer Vayne. That's always a treat to watch. He's one of those very unique Vayne players that builds a lot of weird items. He goes Wits End Vayne before. I've seen him do that. He has his own understanding of Vayne, and you can't fault him for it. This guy has climbed the mountain of Korean solo queue just with that single champion. So you have to give him credit where it's due. Now looking at the lineups here so far, I like the swap here that they're giving Lies, the matchup with Ryze versus Renekton. That's actually very favorable in the Ryze's department. As long as he doesn't get killed early game, you take the Aftershock, you're completely safe. And then you have a very good 1-3-1. This is essentially a 1-3-1 composition with great initiation power coming in from the 3-man that should be holding down the mid lane. So split push focus, it's going to be more isolated. They're going to give it a lot more priority to Lies versus Biu into the top side. While on the other hand, I think that Suning's composition is a little bit out of sorts. It has strong chase potential with the Karma and the Nautilus, but unless they get those big 5v5s, I don't think the late game really favors them much. They're going to be run across the map, and it's going to be quite difficult for them to really get into those 5v5s. This is one of those compositions where you really want an Infernal and a Mountain Drake to show up early to force the enemy team into that river and give you those 5v5s.
It's interesting because last game they were on the other end of this. They were looking to avoid the 5 versus 5s, but now it's their turn to hunt them out and try and find them in game number 2 of Suning versus LGD. I thought we'd be able to avoid a third cheer here in Hangzhou, but it turns out we're never safe from it, Clement.
No, home base is always a great place to play in front of your home team crowd. And LGD has gotten a lot of fans throughout the split.
Ooh, not going to be able to... Oh, they will find the last auto because the sweeper start from RD gives them a little bit more experience there, but they're just going straight in for the engage. The Justice Punch lands. No EQ combo going to be available from Jarvan, obviously, forcing out the flash from SMLZ. And they're just going to go straight for the blue buff here. Great start here for LGD so far.
Yeah, RD, I'm so surprised that he actually got that Justice Punch onto 2 targets at the same time and forces out the flash so early. A vertical jungler is going to suck for Suning. If they have their wave controlled by LGD, then they're not going to be able to farm.
But definitely not what you want. The invade here being threatened here by Sword Art. He has a little bit of damage there with the dredge line and his crushing blows passive. So Kandi needs to be really careful, but he is really trying for this grab here.
Yeah, not a great idea.
I don't like that one.
No,
There's the ignite. That's so much damage. Has to flash away from the aftershock, no less. Kandi, what are you doing, man?
That was unnecessary. I felt like he could have just left it be and still with the help of his bot lane would have been able to control that side of the map. Getting forced out like that means the level 1 doesn't really matter anymore, and you never want to do that against a Nautilus. The dredge line was recently buffed to deal 90 damage level 1, and he also has Staggering Blow that gives you extra 80 damage on the auto attack. So a bit dicey on that single play. I felt like he could have kept the vertical jungle going still back into his own side.
I mean, plus the ignite, too.
Not worth it.
Didn't he have smite as well? Because he didn't smite the blue buff.
Yeah, so he still got the Grom.
I mean, yeah. But he doesn't have his flash. That's the problem. Weiwei is still going to opt for the vertical jungle, though, at the very least, so he will be able to maintain that for the time being. RD level 2 roaming up here towards the mid lane. Not going to be finding the engage here on the Maple just yet. The Abscon goes wide there for Yuki.
This is very good awareness on Maple's end. Just backing out instantly, knows that the enemy support is missing. And with that back, this is good understanding from LGD as well. Kramer resets the wave and goes for an early back just to get an extra 10 AD on his lane opponent. That's a very interesting thought process.
And he's not even sacrificed all that much CS for it. He's only down 3 so far, so working out for him pretty well. Lai's just going to be scouting out the blue side, making sure the vertical jungle did indeed happen. It looks like now Weiwei's going to be trying to reset it a little bit as he rotates towards the bottom side. But there's a beautiful taunt there. The Idol of Duran going in. SMLZ pretty low. Gets taken down for first blood by RD with the Ignite.
Great smart play coming out from LGD. They reset the wave. It's pushing, coming out. Suning, they don't have the flash on their AD carry. Instant kill right there.
Maple takes a ton of damage there after the TP from Yuki comes in. Not quite going to be able to find the kill, though, but will force out the back from Maple.
And quite a horrible lane position. If you look at the bot and mid lane this time around, it's Suning taking their own medicine. Okay, this should be fine with the Aftershock proc. He's not going to die here.
Has to be careful, though. A lot of rage built up on that bar for Bio. Probably mad about being abandoned top alone every game.
It's okay, Pew Pew. As long as you do your job. That was actually a really good trade on his part. Usually you don't see the Renekton's come out that far ahead. Actually, it's now down to Weiwei to do what to make the same decisions Condi made in the previous game. Is how is he going to save his bottom mid?
Oh no! Justice punch into Idol of Duran. SMLZ just got back to lane. This is mean, LGD.
And they still have the wave frozen here.
Oof, this is brutal.
That was really smart from Kramer. I love that play from Kramer.
This is like that level 1 we saw earlier in the split where they started just with a kill onto the AD carry, then did it again and got a second one.
I will say something, though. This happens very often to SMLZ. This is like pretty much the 101 of how to play against SMLZ. Hey, how about we level 2 gank? If you vertical jungler, he will die.
That's just grim, Clement.
It's been proven to work. Like, SMLZ in the spring split actually had the highest amount of deaths in the bot side. I think he was number 1 or number 2. The second was Jackie Love. So there's a number of AD carries that really play the lane quite carelessly.
Oh no, Condi is getting spotted out here. Will find the flag and drag even through the knockup of Weiwei. Weiwei going to use the smite, slow him down a little bit, but it looks like Yuki and Lies both rotating here. Might be able to find Bio and Weiwei. Just going to drop the Q for the time being, stealing away the dominance. It's not going to do a whole lot for him, but he's going to have it if the skirmish continues. A little burst of health for him. Suning still won it. Maple's rotated up. Scuttlecrab will go over to LGD, who have been separated at this point.
Yeah, this is a fight that LGD don't really want to take. They're down 1 flash. Better just give this one up, continue to scale.
Bio finds the stun, but it doesn't really matter a whole lot, Clement.
There's no real need for them to play too risky here when their bot lane is getting so much advantage.
Gromp's fighting the way there by Weiwei. He's getting a little bit of an advantage on Condi, but as you said, the bottom lane's doing great, so not sure how much LGD have to care about this one, unless you're Condi, because if you're Condi, you're pretty annoyed by this.
Yeah, I really wouldn't have used my EQ combo there.
He's still going for the fight. Yuki comes in as well, will not find the Abscond Abduct. Bio's here too. This is really aggressive here from Suning into the jungle of LGD.
I like what they're doing here. Now, Ryze might win the 1v1 matchup against the Renekton, but he doesn't really have that much lane priority. So they're sagging Renekton towards the jungle. Weiwei's doing a good job with an extra flash and a level lead on forcing Condi out, and that's taken enough pressure on the bot side where you see the CS lead closing now. It used to be over 20.
Just 15 for the time being, but Kramer will hit level 6. Already still level 5, so won't be able to use the combo just yet. But bottom lane of LGD is still doing great here, especially on this late game scaling Vayne. Will be the Blade of the Ruined King first, so nothing too wacky coming out. I want to see if he's still going to go for the Rage Blade even after the nerfs. Or if he'll decide for something a little bit spicier.
Should still be the Rage Blade. See that most commonly from the Vayne still. And Condi coming in here under-leveled is a bit dicey. You can see Weiwei already coming down. Sword Art has the level 6 up his sleeve.
Wow. That's a ton of damage traded onto SMLZ there.
Very well done. And Yuki blows a preemptive Dominus now.
Not quite sure the story on that one. May have just wanted the extra health for it in case of an engage. Does last quite a while. So maybe he suspected he'd find some action in the river, but still not really sure I'm a fan of that one. May have just been expiring as well.
Yep. You use it or you lose it, so might as well.
Weiwei looking for a gank.
Okay, he is spotted.
Spotted but not backing off just yet. He'll figure it out. There he goes. Now Yuki going to go in for the engage once again onto Maple. Worth noting he does have Aftershock in this matchup, so the return damage from Maple isn't going to be able to do a whole lot.
Very dicey situation.
Idol of Duran will land onto one, but he has to get out. Flash away from RD. The ultimate comes in from Weiwei, but that's a lot of return damage here from Kramer. He's popped the final hour. He's still looking for the damage. Might be able to find it onto Sword Art. Sword Art's flashed away at this point. They're still chasing, but here comes the teleport in from BioBio. Kramer has to get out. Condi needs to find a flag and drag. He will, but he's in danger. Flashes away under the tower. And LGD get away, only losing one.
Yeah, so overall, I actually like LGD's moves right here. They trade back a lot of damage. They're going to have a tempo lead in the bot lane. You can see that Vayne's still able to free farm. Lines is going to have a completely free lane and a teleport advantage later on.
This may not be the abusing BioBio we were talking about, but LGD are going to be really happy with this trade because now BioBio has to farm against the Vayne at the very least for the time being. This gives Lies a little bit of time. Let's take a look at that play one more time.
That crucial thing here is RD really survives for a long time with the Aftershock. Even clears out the minion wave before he does go down. And Weiwei has to trade so much positioning and his life, basically, to secure that kill. I actually really favor LGD's position after that gank even. They're going to have full priority. And if you look at this laning situation, Kramer's going to be able to keep on chipping on this tower, where I'm not sure the same is going to be applied towards SMLZ.
Yeah, SMLZ and Sword Art have swapped lanes into the top side. This allows Suning pressure on the Rift Herald, but LGD instead just going to be going for the Infernal Drake. Hopefully Condi doesn't die to it. There he goes. Perfect. Has the smite to keep him safe. But Suning, it looks like this will be uncontested. So, at the very least, LGD under a lot of pressure to take down their first tower because the top lane, that'll fall to just one Rift Herald push.
Once again, we have the BioBio as the sacrificial lamb, while the rest of the map for LGD is roaming around. It's going to be a competition for the first tower. I think Suning might take it here. That's only one hit away.
Almost certainly. As soon as this charge comes in, that's the tower down, and I don't think LGD have the speed for it. Won't be able to find the match. Now the Herald might even make it to the Tier 2 tower as well. Lai's not going to be able to pick up this bottom lane tower, and it looks like there's a little bit of a gank coming in here from Sword Art, but Lai's will be one step ahead for the time being. Sword Art may still look for the dredge line in between the minion wave, but it's enough of a deterrent for Lai's to be able to get away. Condi going to pick up the Rift Herald in the top lane, so now LGD not ahead in gold despite the early lead their bottom lane had. Granted, still up 20 CS. Kramer has completed the Blade of the Ruin King, but the rest of the map just not able to keep up with the lead that their bottom lane had established.
You know, I have to say, I felt like LGD had a better play right there, where Lies was still in the top side and was going to threaten the bottom side with the teleport. He actually had the TP advantage there. I think he could have slowed down the tower take from the top side, at least cleared out the minion wave a little. That trade ended up a lot worse than I thought it would for LGD.
LGD maybe minor missteps here, but
Lies didn't actually do anything during that trade. It was a 3v1.
He farmed.
There was a 3v1 in the bot side, and he just roamed around. Almost would have been better if he was top.
He's doing his best, Clement, but unfortunately, Lai's still going to be down in CS despite having that free lane top. He is still scaling up, has the tier already in the inventory, got the last chapter. So working towards his first item, and now LGD have to find a way to get their advantage back in this game. They are down a little bit of gold, but at least they have the Infernal Drake to their name.
For me, Suning is the one that does need to pick up the pace. They don't want to go into a 1-3-1 against this composition. Karma late game also just doesn't do that well. So it's kind of hard for Suning right now. They're losing a lot of tempo at this moment, and I don't think Renekton or Xayah can really have a say in these lanes. They can't push out proactively, and what Suning are basically waiting on is just this next Infernal Drake. They have to be in position, they have to have their teleports up, and they need to win it.
Turret plating is going to fall in 30 seconds, so far Suning going to have the better end of that, as shown by their gold advantage. That Infernal Drake going to be under contention by both teams, but LGD have been having the advantage of the bottom lane push here. They have so much pressure still on the bottom lane of Suning that this is going to be a very, very contentious dragon. And now LGD, Condi's still looking to steal away this blue buff. This will be the third one he's taken away from Weiwei. Or should it be taken away?
And that has also affected Maple's ability to stay in lane. Now, if you can see Yuki's lane versus Maple, Yuki has almost always had full priority. He's been roaming into River first.
Kramer will get a little bit of chunk damage there on the SMLZ, so just waiting for the blue buff transfer has been successful, but an engage goes down onto Maple. Meanwhile, Condi going in as well. Here comes the cannonball, but no Cataclysm, so Weiwei is going to make it out.
That was a smart flash. That was a 100 distance flash into a tunnel, which was good thinking. The full range flash might have still knocked him up.
He got out of there, at the very least with his life, but he won't have his flash available. Smite not going to be available for him for a little bit as well.
I will say that this is actually quite beneficial for Suning because they've taken away the flag drag combo from LGD. That's 2 ultimates that they're not going to have.
So now this is a concern, but Lies still pushing into the top lane. He has the teleport available. BuBu going to be able to pick up his soon as well. So the teleport advantage from LGD mostly been wasted this game, Clement.
Yeah, that was just one play where Lies could have gone a little bit more. Didn't, but it's okay. Now everyone's just looking towards that Drake. I'm looking at Silas's cooldown. He's going to be fine. There's not going to be a hero's entrance there.
Won't have that for the fight.
So this is very interesting about macro game, but a lot of times before a big objective fight, flashes are are less important than ultimates. If you can burn a key critical ultimate from someone by getting a flash, then you actually win out on the trade. It reverses the thought process behind the cooldown timers.
At the very least, though, Clement, they do have the combo available of the Vayne and the Jarvan, so if you can condemn someone into the Cataclysm, namely maybe a bird-type champion, maybe the Xayah, for example, that's a lot of DPS that's missing from the fight for Suning, so that may be enough to give LGD the edge, even without the hero's entrance.
I do want to point out that Suning actually has the item lead on Xayah right now. So this fight's going to be a lot closer than people expect.
They had to be careful with this one, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter. Oh my god, Weiwei, you can't just get away with that. Stealing away the dragon there under the noses of LGD. Now the fight, we're seeing that item advantage there from SMLZ. Kramer's about the final hour, so he's trying to answer with some damage of his own. But Suning are just running away with this fight. The Realm Warp, not even going to take anyone out of there. They've got a bail. And Kramer and Lies, the only 2 members remaining alive for LGD.
And that was the fight that I was looking for. That came up so critical that the hero's entrance wasn't there. Actually, Jarvan and Galio had anti-synergy, blocked the taunt from going on. You can see RD flashing on the wall and taunting nobody. Condi went in as well. And Suning just decimate the front line from LGD. That's what I was talking about. It's not all about the cooldown timers. At some point in the game, if you have a critical team fight coming up, burning a flash for an ultimate is actually advantageous to you. Now, this was a little bit that was a bit of a tilt coming in from LGD. You can see Weiwei taking away the Infernal Drake and this critical play. Imagine if he had Hero's Entrance here. Wasn't the case. Taunt was wasted. Condi goes in, and they just can't fight anymore. Their front line used all of its cooldowns in Unison, got nothing for it, and they collapsed.
Really unfortunate there from LGD because they had the advantage in the bottom lane. But like you said, the item advantage wasn't there. Kramer hadn't gone back for it. So now SMLZ, he's set back up. He's tied in CS. Yeah, he doesn't have the Deathless like Kramer, but he's got the Infinity Edge. He's got the Essence Reaver. He has so much damage with Maple buffing him up. Suddenly, LGD are having a lot of problems because that was the full-on 5v5 that Suning were looking for.
That teamfight from LGD was missing a couple of crucial components there. I don't think Condi realized that Hero's Entrance was not off of cooldown yet. He went in, expected the Galio to follow up with him, instantly Zhonya's thinking it would be safe, and the ultimate was going to come down and then Vayne could follow up. But Galio couldn't get in, and there was no taunt. So there was no room for Vayne and Kramer to then finish off the kills afterwards. They try over chasing, Maple cuts them off, and that was a fight where Suning, even with a marginal gold lead, should not have been able to walk away with that easily.
Unfortunately for LGD, however, they did, and now Suning sitting on a 3K gold lead, even in Infernals. This might be another fight about to break out. Have to clear away the control ward. There's the engage, lands on RD. This is a 4 versus 1 in this part of the fight, and they're just leaving him.
A little bit unfortunate from RD, doesn't have his flash. I think what LGD should do now is try to slow the game down. They are a composition that has a great 1-3-1, but they don't want to run head first into these 5v5s with Suning. It's proven very difficult, and SMLZ on the Xayah has a perfect counter to these front lines rushing at him.
Question is how well they'll be able to slow it down, because at this point, they don't really have a lot of tools to stop it. The 1-3-1 may still be an option for them at this point, but only one item completed there for Lies. Yuki sitting on the proto belt as well, versus you look at their opponents, and yeah, BioBio just with the Black Cleaver, but Maple's got 2 items already.
The crucial thing for LGD is always have Lies in position to deal with incoming waves. As long as he's able to wave clear while the rest of his team members are going to have difficulties with that, they should be able to stave off Suning from at least taking their second-tier towers. That's what they need to do right now. They still have a good game plan ahead of them. It's a 5k advantage for Suning. But as long as they can just keep the Baron Pit somewhat warded and not let those second-tier towers go down, I think LGD can still stave off another Suning assault. Wait a minute.
Is this just going to be the Baron?
What?
The literal 20-minute Baron coming in from Suning. I don't think LGD suspect. The pings are going down onto it now, but the Baron's already almost half health. LGD looking for the engage.
Lies is so far out of position, though.
Sword Art goes in, depth charge there. Yuki has to flash away. He has a depth charge of his own for the time being. Can he find it, though? Lies is here on the flank. It's a full-on 5 versus 5, but this is one that Suning will win if they decide to go for it. They forced out Yuki for the time being, but this may have pushed them off of Baron at the very least.
A good move by Yuki to actually survive that. I'm not sure what ability he took right there, but it was able to get him away from the grasp of Sword Art. You could see the ult and Ignite were both used, but they couldn't find the kill onto Yuki.
Depth charge plus flash proto belt away, I think, was the key for that one.
Yeah, probably most likely the case.
But now they're just going to start it back up. They've got the trinket on it, but LGD don't have the option to contest just yet. They're racing towards it. Half health once again. They need to see this bush bait coming for them. But at this point, they do. The flag and drag comes in. No Cataclysm, but here comes the hero's entrance. They pick up one. BioBio down. The sacrificial lamb has been taken out. And now Kramer popping off with the final hour. They take 2 kills of their own. They may even be able to turn down onto the Baron themselves, but they're not feeling that confident despite their Vayne.
And that was, that's the reason I didn't really like the Suning bait. The second bait was very questionable because the front lines you think are front lines are not really front lines without Dominus and Ultimate. But wait a minute, the fight's still going on.
Engage into the tower this time. They might be able to find one. Just get the shutdown onto Weiwei. But they return a kill there onto Yuki, and SMLZ still going on the chase. Flag and Drag going to be flashed away from. Flash follows up from Kandi as well. Maple trying to chase down. There's a lot of move speed, a lot of healing coming in from the mid laner. SMLZ has taken down Kandi. He's going to take down RD too. Just needs one more auto. There goes the Q. RD, fancy feet, going to keep him alive for the time being. He is almost certainly dead now that the shield has gone on to SMLZ. I want to see how long he can make him wait. Oh, so close, but SMLZ will finally take him down.
If he was still going in a straight line, he could have outlasted for a little while, but unfortunately the terrain doesn't provide him that option. And Suning come out ahead with what is essentially a 2v4. That was some really good play by SMLZ. He calculated the return play from LGD, was able to flash out of it, and dealt a lot of damage returning that, and Maple just chased the rest of them down.
Suning, this is their 3rd attempt at this very Baron, Clement. But I think this time they're going to find a little bit more success considering that RD still isn't on the field. 4,000 health remaining, and still LGD aren't in the pit. They need to go for this now if they want to try and contest with the steal. 30 health taken away there by Weiwei. They won't go for the follow-up engage. So Suning finally will take down the Baron on their 3rd attempt.
That second try wasn't so good, but 1 and 3 were golden right there, and Suning hold on to a 5k gold lead. Now, this is the problem. Look at the front lines. They don't have their ultimates right there, so standing in the brush like that, it's a pretty obvious move. Either way, the Trinket also didn't see the front line, so where else could the Nautilus actually be? Great move by LGD calling them out, and then the 2v4 play here was really well done by Suning members. Watch SMLZ as he predicts the comeback play from LGD. That's 2 sets of abilities wasted from LGD, not getting any damage down, and he's just able to chase the rest of them.
SMLZ sitting on a completed 3 items plus a pickaxe in his inventory. He has 75% crit. He's got a whole lot of damage to his name. Doesn't matter that Kramer is deathless. He's just got the 2 items. So now, Suning, they found all the 5v5s they've wanted by forcing around the objectives. And this point, it's going to be hard for LGD to push them off.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have time to scale into that 1-3-1. With the Baron buff pressing at their base right now, they need to find a way to use that cannonball combo and just pick off SMLZ. If they can get him down before anything else happens, the rest of Suning actually does not have a lot of sustained damage.
Now they will find this last inner tower here on the bottom side. Of course, there is another inner tower remaining in the top lane, but both mid and bottom inhib towers are exposed at this point. Death Charge has been stolen away by Yuki, but there's only so much it can do for them. SMLZ chunking the tower down to almost half just in one push. Another wave coming in, taking the tower down even lower.
Bubu's taking quite a bit of damage here. I think LGD will have to go on the next wave.
They're still looking for it. They can just stall this one out. They've got a cannon with Baron. They go in for the engage. Condi goes in for the re-engage himself. He doesn't have the Cataclysm. Won't be able to find it. Hero's Entrance lands, but SMLZ, look at how much damage he's doing. He dodges away the Death Charge with the Feather Storm, and he is just popping off in the team fight. Yuki getting chased down there. Double kill going to come in for SMLZ. And now he wants more. He's looking for lives. Won't be able to find it, but will be able to find the bottom lane inhibitor. Baron buff still remaining for a minute. They've got a minion wave. They might just go for the end. Teleport coming in here from Bubu. They are going for the push at this point, Clement.
It's going to be the 4v2 almost down. Kramer actually dodges out, but can he survive?
They get the stun. They get the kill onto the AD carry of LGD. And now Suning still chasing in. SMLZ incredibly low, so has to be careful. Are they going to keep going? It looks like they will. Despite the fact that SMLZ is so low, LGD might be able to find something at the very least. Will force them off in the end. No flag and drag there from Condi. Just going to be just the Dragon Strike for now.
Ooh,
Suning forced to back out.
So incredibly close. SMLZ fell down to a sliver of health trying to chase down Kramer, and the EQ combo nearly just killed him right there, but the red buff just keeping him healthy, and also Karma keeping him shielded up with that passive on the Athenas on Holy Grail. Very close team fight, but I think the crucial thing was that Suning recognized that as long as the Wombo combo did not go onto Xayah, then they were going to win the fight. You could see Condi did not have a choice. He had to EQ in. SMLZ pulled back as far as he possibly could, dodged out on the Death Charge. Remember, that was from Silas, so it would have hurt if it landed. Lots of AP on that champion right now. And very well played. Suning understood their win condition. They read the team fight correctly. They knew that the proactive move right there, even though it was on a tank on a front line from LGD, was going to net them a win.
Baron not quite up. Another Dragon is available for Suning, but I don't think are going to need it. They have opened up one inhibitor, and SMLZ currently sitting on 4 items, 7, 2, and 5. He picked up the Lord Dominic's Regard, so he is putting out so much insane damage in these team fights.
Yeah, and you compare that with Kramer's item sitting at 2.5 against the 4 full items of SMLZ. The level of damage is just so different. They're not going to have damage much from lives either. He's going to go for the the Righteous Glory, even in a losing situation. So this team really doesn't have much damage at all. Not the offensive Black Cleaver build from Condi either. What LGD are really looking on is just for somehow Yuki to deal enough damage to snipe out SMLZ. It's going to be such a tall task.
Because Kramer can't even get to him. SMLZ has the superior range. He has the superior ability to just chuck feathers at him in addition to the rapid fire cannon. So Kramer's not going to be able to do it. Yuki's barely got an item completed. I believe he's sitting on 1.5. So this is really problematic here for LGD.
SMLZ has flash, and if he gets to use his ultimate, he's going to get 2 rotations from Maple with the shield. Very hard to kill. Here we go.
Here comes the Cataclysm. Cannonball composition coming out, but it's not going to land onto anyone. Suning just get away from that engage scot-free.
Very well played by SMLZ once more. You know, flashes out of the Cataclysm instantly and then uses the ultimate. It doesn't waste on any of the abilities. And he's going to be able to push after this wave. That's a smart use, smart exchange of ultimate and the summoner to get the key Wombo combo pieces out of LGD.
Both key combo Wombo combo pieces. Let's try and say that 10 times fast. But also the flash away from Condi. So really, LGD don't have a lot to do with this next fight. The Baron getting ready to spawn, spawning now. This should not be a problem for Suning to take, and nor should it be a problem for them to end the game at this point, unless LGD find the miracle of all miracle plays.
It's going to be absolutely insane if they're able to carry it out. The front line from Suning also is quite difficult to take down. So even if they do find some damage onto SMLZ, I actually think Suning has done a very good job at diversifying their damage threats. They just output so much more than LGD at this point. Look at the item difference. Rek'Sai is going to be able to finish team fights. The Karma already with death cap. So I like the way Suning are itemizing. They're not going for the, just purely hovering around SMLZ. They're actually thinking about, even in the worst case scenario that SMLZ is somehow taken out in the first salvos of the fight, they're going to be able to finish.
Shouldn't have a problem here. Weiwei going to pick up the Cloud Drake as well. Just going to make it easier to run it straight into LGD's base.
And I love that GA pickup. A GA pickup from SMLZ is really smart. A lot of the times AD carries these days, they just go straight for Mercurial Scimitar. But if you're the sole target on your team, I still think GA has a lot of value.
Especially once the ultimate's back up for SMLZ as it is now, you have a little bit of invuln after the GA as well to try and keep yourself safe, have your team crowd around you. And this is a great composition for Suning to do that with Maple.
It's a 4-second cooldown on the stasis with GA, a 4-second stasis period. So you're going to get another rotation of Karma abilities. That just puts the LGD win rate to basically 0 right now. Their ultimates are up. They have to go.
Mid lane inhibitor's been taken. Bio forced to flash away in the top lane. Will pop Hysteric's Gauge, but how much does it matter? Because it's 2 inhibitors down here. Suning able to take them both. Bio gets stunned into the wall after flashing. He's not having a good time, but it doesn't matter. The rest of his team is having a wonderful one. And now they're going to try and take down this last inhibitor tower. Might decide to wait for the wave this time, and I think that's the smarter play. No need for Sword Art to take it if a wave is coming right away.
Crucial here is Kramer doesn't have his ultimate, so another ability that cuts away from LGD's damage potential. I don't think the front line actually can get it done.
There is the depth charge available, plus the Cataclysm, plus the Hero's Entrance, so there's a lot of CC available for LGD. The question is how they can find it here. But here comes the engage, flag and drag into the cannonball, but perfect timing from SMLZ. He keeps himself safe, and now he's just going to start pumping out damage, absolutely demolishing all of LGD. But Kramer will find the return kill onto Bubu. It doesn't matter. The double kill comes in for SMLZ. That's the second Nexus tower in trouble, and it looks like Suning are just going to be able to run this one through and dunk the 2-0 onto LGD. Just going to get a few KDA kills and take down the Nexus.
And that has to feel bad for LGD. They were in full control of the bot lane. They found the winning condition against Suning. You take SMLZ down early, you control the mid lane against Maple, but that one Infernal Drake fight where they lost 3 members and the Infernal really killed their chances. That was such a massive swing in the game. Unfortunate for LGD. They just forgot that RD's Hero's Entrance wasn't on there. Frontline dies for nothing. LGD run the map. They bait multiple Barons. One was successful, one wasn't. But at the end of the day, they take it down. And it was a 5v5 game from there. Just, I have to say, LGD, they had a lot of chances to get a better grip on this game. Unfortunately, weren't able to hold on to them, and Suning just played to their win conditions better.
Do you know how you know that's a beautiful series from Suning and that they're happy about it? SMLZ, I looked very carefully, and you could see the corners of his mouth twitch slightly. It's as close to a smile as you'll see from him, but he is happy with his performance. He is happy with that series.
He also smiled when he hovered the Kog'Maw. Now, the Kog'Maw is one of those picks that SMLC actually had a flawless record on, one split. But I'm glad that the rest of Suning persuaded him not to pick that against the Cannonball comp.
I don't think that would have worked as well.
Definitely wouldn't, especially with the state Tom Kench is in right now. You really don't want to run that champion.
How successful the Xayah was as well. I mean, he ended, I believe, 7-2-5 was the last KDA I saw, but he absolutely destroyed that game. And one of the beautiful things about it was that we've seen Suning play exact opposite win conditions 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Because the first game, they were the ones looking to avoid the 5 versus 5. They were able to do that. But this game, they wanted to find it, and they were able to force it around objectives, not once, but twice, but 3 times. They were able to make 3 different Baron takes a point of contention for LGD.
And I have to say, I really love what Weiwei has showed this series. If you think about the first Baron fight, LGD blew a double cannonball combo onto Weiwei. Weiwei got out with his flash. And in the next ensuing Drake fight, they didn't have their main frontline initiation. He was able to break it down. He even stole the Drake, which I believe threw Condi into a blind rage and prompted him to go straight onto the team composition. So this was a game for me that LGD really should have won with how much early game control they had. It was just those 2 crucial moments where I felt like Lies didn't do anything in the tower trade. He was just roaming around with the teleport advantage. And then the Drake fight. Those were just the 2 mistakes, and those were enough to give Suning the edge they needed to close the game out quite cleanly.
And I think there's one statistic I like to throw out there that really shows how dominating of a win this is. You look at the gold numbers, you look at the damage numbers. If you sum up everyone's gold on LGD except for RD, or everyone's damage on LGD except for RD, SMLZ did more. So he did more damage than 4 members of LGD. That is one hell of a carry performance.
I think you're going to see a lot more of Karma being played. The other Karma player, of course, is Kuro. We have in the LPL, and it's just there to buff up the performance of your AD carry. I think Suning have actually shown a lot to be happy about. We did talk about, we thought that Suning removing Longxing from the top lane would actually give them a better win rate. It would allow them to focus better. Now, don't get me wrong. If I'm Suning, I would still prefer to have Longxing in the top lane, no doubt. But it was a little too difficult for them to handle where they wanted to play. Now they have a single focus in the bot lane. And I think this team might grow up. Like, once the expectations are lower, they're coming down to ground, they're going to find and build a new path to go forward under the leadership of Fluidwin. Fluidwin actually had took Flash Wolves the furthest they've ever gone in a world scenario. So the players like Maple, the players like Sword Art, they know him well, they trust him, and I think they can build something beautiful of this team.
So far, so good that it will be a 2-0 for them. We will see them again later on next week, but until then, we have a second series coming up, EDG versus JDG. Stick around, we'll be back in just a few.